Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gangster Kop. We are here tonight for our Liverpool vs Southampton preview. Tonight it's going to be me, as always, and the lovely Sophie. Hey Sophie.
Hey. Don't know what that was. Hey, I felt like a cartoon character then.
Unfortunately, Andrew and Stephen, we are joined tonight by a special guest. We've got Fathi from the Kop End Fracas Podcast. Welcome, Fathi. Good to have you on, mate.
Thanks for having me on, guys. How are we doing?
Doing all good. Perfect. Okay, so going into this match, how we're going to start off. How was everyone feeling going into this match? Because obviously Liverpool come into this game on the back of not probably winning the last 4 games we've drawn.
Yeah.
There was pressure on the fact that Leicester lost to Newcastle 4-2, and Spurs lost to Leeds 3-1. Like, how are you feeling coming to this game? Did you feel that we were going to get a win, or were you thinking another draw?
Really and truly, I've been quite disheartened by the last couple of performances, as we all have, I'm sure. But the one thing going for us is how bad Southampton have been recently. So deep down, secretly, I was hoping for quite a convincing victory. I don't really think it was a convincing victory. The scoreline says it was comfortable, but obviously the second goal was in the last minute. But yeah, I was expecting a convincing victory. But in terms of my excitement for the game, it's at an all-time low, guys. I'm really at a 3 out of 10 level right now.
I feel there. Like, me and Sophie have the same kind of sentiment. Like, we're done with the season. So how about you, Sophie? Like, going into this game, did you feel after seeing our rivals drop points, Chelsea got a good win against Man City, did you feel like you were confident we were going to win this game? Or how are you feeling this match?
No, absolutely not. Like, I stand by what I said yesterday, that we were going to get a 1-1 draw. We were going to get an early goal within the first few minutes, which we did. We'd play the first half really well, and then the second half would come and we'd be shaky and we'd be fragile at best. And that's exactly what happened. And I think we were very lucky and very fortunate that Thiago got that goal in the last minute of the game. I think I was saying to Fathi just before we came live, like, I'm happy that Thiago's goal came at the last minute, because I think if we'd have had a few more minutes to go to it, we wouldn't have held on to that. We'd have lost it, we'd have conceded, and we'd have gone 2-2. So no, I wasn't excited for the game. I haven't been excited for the game for a very long time. I'm glad it's over. I think I was more excited when the referee blew the whistle at the end, and it was like, okay, it's done. But no, I've lost all excitement this season. I mean, Thiago scored and was great, but I just don't. I say all the time, I just don't care. I don't care anymore.
How about yourself? How are you feeling, bro?
To be honest, I think it's a draw, 1-1 draw, going to this game. Right. I felt as if that I wasn't comfortable with the 8:15 kickoff. I thought that, we might drop points. I thought also the fact that, when I saw the lineup, I thought Southampton could get our centre backs. And I thought, obviously, I wasn't confident our striker was going to finish their dinner today. So to see us get a 2-0 win, last minute goal, I thought, wow. Because I never saw that coming, to be honest. I thought, honestly, when I saw it was 1-1 at the 70th minute, I was expecting Southampton to get an equaliser. I think that's like the Newcastle game. So I'm happy also we got the results. And hopefully this is going to be like a springboard for the final for us. But we've been there before. So, so just glad we got the points. Everyone else, do make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done already. Helps us get this channel, this stream out to more people, get more people watching, so make sure you do that. So, going on the team sheet lineup. Yes. The team sheet lineup. When you saw the fact that we had Kabak, Phillips, Milner, and Naby, even though probably 3 of them probably might not have played, and most likely Kabak missing, and we were going with Williams and Phillips. Faye, how do you feel about that centre back pair? Like, did you feel that good for being your back in midfield, or were you thinking, oh God, actually, the last time Williams played was the FA Cup game against Man United, and he had a howl of a day, even though he's only a kid. Like, how are you feeling about the centre back pairing?
All right. Number one, my first question to you both is: what are we doing in training right now for all these players to get injured? What is going on? Like we've not played a game in 2 weeks. So what are they doing for someone always dropping the back? Obviously, the rumor came out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, the rumor came out yesterday that he's got a knock. I just don't understand. Obviously, Milner was a secret one. We didn't know about that. But Klopp kind of alluded to the fact that quite a few players were, carrying bruises and knocks and stuff like that. So looking at the 11 that came out today, I was actually quite calm. I don't want to see Fabinho at centre-back anymore. It's something that we do not need to see. So even though I don't have the greatest of confidence in Reece Williams, I was happy that he was playing centre-back rather than Fabinho playing at centre-back, because the moment you put Fabinho further back, you miss the engine in midfield, and that's where we really struggle. So overall, I was actually happy with the 11. I personally would have liked to see Wijnaldum drop for Curtis Jones. Obviously, for the game against Man U last Sunday, Wijnaldum was actually on the bench for that game. So I thought maybe Klopp may kind of continue down that route and do the same thing. But he obviously played with Wijnaldum. But overall, I was happy with that. Again, with the front three, Jota down the middle, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see Firmino on the pitch right now. But yeah.
Sophie's got a love for Ronaldo, Ginny, so whenever anyone bad enough,
I don't have a problem with Ginny. I don't have a problem.
I found it. I like Ginny suddenly defending him because I'll go in on the. I will go.
No, you know what it is? No. Let me explain. With Ginny, he's leaving anyway. I just don't understand the point in continuing to play him. It makes no sense. What are we doing?
I agree. Before we get to you, Soph, there's going to be some in the comments here. Carl says Thiago's the best midfielder in the world. Goal of the season, no look with an injury. Carl says game was dead. I fell asleep. Wish we had to finish them last. We had to finish the last minute. Julian says Thiago, Alcantara. Klopp out again says Trent was poor. Julian says I'm fucking buzzing for the lad. Obviously he's calling Alisson the GOAT. Alan says a little upset. Your dog, Sophie. I think obviously fucking. Klopp out says Thiago can't believe he's fighting Europa League or the UEFA Conference League. Blade Brown, good win today, but it was shaky. Think Southampton deserve more, but we take it and move on. And then Blade, we won't get Mbappe. Rumours are he was going to go. I don't think Mbappe was ever on. So let's just move on for that. Going to you, Sophie. How did you feel about
lineup? Lineup. I said it at the start of the watch along. Like the lineup was as good as we were going to get. With the injuries we've got, the squad is paper thin. But Fahi's just said that he was hoping that Gini was going to be dropped in favour of Curtis Jones because that happened for the United game. But I think the reason that happened for the United game is because Gini's played over 500 minutes of football for us and he needed a break.
Yeah.
It was a good chance for him to have a break, and obviously now he's had that extra because we didn't even play against United in the end. I feel like it was automatic that Gini was going to go back in that place. He was only dropped to Curtis Jones because he was probably shattered. He was probably absolutely knackered on his knees. Like, he was done. He needed a bit of a break. And I think Gini played a really good game today. And I know you go home and you go, oh, Sophie's biased. She loves Gini. Like, Gini can't do no wrong in her eyes, blah, 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 blah. But I think Gini did really, really well that game. Like, his ball retention was really good. His recoveries were excellent, and he was all over the pitch when you need them. No, he wasn't like out and out, superstar, but he did what he had to do, and he did it well. I don't think Jones would have made that impact in the game. I don't think Jones has got that ability to hold the ball the way Gini does, because if he's doing that, if Jones comes on and Gini's not there doing that, Thiago is going to go forward, or he's going to drop even more defensively. And Thiago doesn't suit dropping that defensively into like a 6-role with Fabinho, because Jones can't drop it. So they'd all target Jones. So then Thiago's role would have been altered, and Thiago wouldn't have got the goal he got. So I don't think. I love Jones, and I think Jones has got a good place in our squad next season. I think. Yeah. I said it on the live stream. He was meant to be integrated at the start of the season, and that's why we saw him play, and that's why we saw him play really well, because that's the role I think he will play for us. But with the system we're playing now, with the situation we've got going on, Jones won't fit in there. Jones would have to change his system, and it would completely derail any career development and player development for that kid. So it's best just to hold him off until next season. We're nearly done. We're nearly at the end of it now. Let him get a good break. Let him get a good pre-season under belt, and then let's see him integrate, because Gini's going to be going. So we're going to have a gap in that midfield, and that's his chance to step up and shine and recreate that role. We might not need a Gini replacement. Albion in the back end. We might not need a Gini replacement. We just need someone who's a good midfielder. And Wahome cries on and on a creative midfielder. And maybe when Jones has a little bit of integration, he can be that player for us. But in a game that we were playing today, with the way we were playing, if he'd have come on, he would either just got railroaded, he'd have ran through him.
Okay, we'll get on to Ginny later, because I do have a stat that I want to raise up to the both of you to counteract to David Advocate what Sophie said there about a good game. But
I was waiting for that. I didn't want to say anything because I don't want this thrown at me. So,
I'll come back to later on. What I was going to say is, Blade here gives a good comment here. He says, which I want to put to both of you. He says that we need a goal scorer. Let's talk about it. So, I think it's obvious that we need a striker for all of us. I don't think it's about me asking you, do you need a striker? I think it's obvious.
Yeah.
But based from your perspective, what you guys have seen around Europe, or potentially, and obviously, I'm not, we get the Mbappe's, the Haaland, we're not going to get those. Those are unrealistic. Who do you realistically say can we get a striker that can come in and score goals for us? Always the case of moving Salah to the middle or Jota to the middle and getting a winger. What do you think is the best? Is there a striker out there that's realistic you think that can come in? Or are you thinking we move Salah, Jota in the middle, and we go for a Sancho? Or that? Who are you thinking?
I mean, it depends on a number of things, right? Number one, it depends on where we finish in the table. Are we going to be in Europe, right? Obviously, if we're in top four, that means more money is going to be coming into the club. We can kind of let more go on the transfer budget, possibly sign a striker and a wide forward. But if it gets to a situation where we're not going to be in Europe, we're going to finish 7th, 8th, whatever, and we're not really getting the bids in that we wanted for certain players, then the cheapest option may have to be moving Salah as a centre forward and then buying a winger. Now, I know that's not going to be a popular choice, but ultimately FSG do what they want, right? So if they need to save money, they need to save money. So yeah. Tell me, Sophie, what do you think?
Salah doesn't go to the middle. That's that. We do need someone. I don't disagree with you. The shush was just more for comedic value because they won't let me have the button. That's all it is. Anything I slightly disagree with is getting a shush today because Wahome hijacked me button.
Mad.
Still there.
Crazy.
But please carry on. I was just being an arsehole.
Oh, all right, cool. So yeah, it's two ways to look at it. You can either really have Salah as a centre forward and buy a wide forward, or it means someone else has to leave, either a Mane or a Firmino, and then we buy ourselves an actual centre forward. I can't see us adding to the four we already have. Someone would have to leave. I just don't see how it would make sense. Now, I don't really watch a lot of European football anymore because I think football's really depressed me this season. But from what the streets are saying and what Twitter's saying and what everyone else is saying, Vlahovic is someone who is like a B-Tech version of Haaland, apparently. Apparently, he may be a good striker to go with. There's a few other names in the Bundesliga. There's the guy that plays for Ajax as well. So there are all these different names. Yeah, so there are all these different names being brandished about. So I'd like to take your guidance on this, on who you guys think as a centre forward we should go for. I personally, though, I would rather we just get a Sancho in and move Salah up front. That's what I would go with.
I think for me, I think obviously the strikers that are out there, Marlon, there's Dakar, there's Silva, and there's also that I think Vlahovic. I can't remember his pronounce his name, but I think he plays in Italy. But maybe Marlon. I think it's going to be difficult with Raiola as his agent.
Yeah.
Sancho, I would like Sancho. I just can't see how we get Sancho without selling a forward. I know people said we might sell some players like obviously Dortmund want quite a few of our players. I don't know. I just didn't notice it's enough, especially after Klopp's comments today. The fact that he sees some opportunities for Keita, Ox, and Shaq next season. I hope that's just like just him just trying to build their confidence up rather than actually being.
I can't deal with it anymore. They need to go get out of the club.
100% with you there. They need to go. But going back to the match, Mane got a goal. Mane's commanded a lot in this season from a lot of people. A lot of people are saying sell Mane, get rid of him. He's not good enough. He's done. And obviously, there's opposite side of the crowd who are saying no, Mane's just tired. We shouldn't sell Mane. Like, and we've seen him score before goals, and then no difference changed after in terms of performance. So this is a goal against his former club. Do you feel this is a turning point for Mane that he can go on a run in the next few games and score goals, or do you feel like it's just how it was before when Mane scored against Leipzig, didn't really change him for confidence? So do you feel like this is a turning point for him? And also, I just want to put a stat to you. Apparently, I saw on BBC that Salah pass to Mane was the first time that they've both combined for a goal in the Premiership season. The last link-up they've had together with both assisted each other for the Premiership was Palace in June 2020. So people are saying that. So does that breed seed of that they're not passing to each other as well?
No, that just shows that they've not been finishing their dinner. Ultimately,
exactly.
They've been creating chances for each other. I see it every single game.
All it highlights is the inconsistencies in our front three and the fact that they're not clinical in the final third. That's all it is. I'm sick of this narrative that Salah won't pass to Mane because he wants the goals, and Mane won't pass to Salah or go down because he doesn't want Salah to get a penalty. Like, I'm sick of this narrative that's being forced down people's throats. We're not seeing that on the pitch. What we're seeing on the pitch is three very clinical players who are unfortunately not being very clinical at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it comes down to. It doesn't come down to they don't like each other. You see it when Salah assisted. Was it Salah who assisted Mane today? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was made up for them. Now, I'm sorry, but if you've got a player with that much of a rivalry within your own team that you refuse to go down for a penalty or pass to them because it affects your personal record, you don't celebrate when you assist them.
Of course not. Yeah.
It's laughable. And there's no way that Klopp, as the manager that he is, would deal with that. He wouldn't put up with that shit. Straight away, that would be nipped in the bud like that. There's no way that he'd let those two top wingers fight like that over something stupid because the team comes first. And that's the way that Liverpool's mentality is. And if they were players with that single mindset mentality, they wouldn't be lasting very long and they would be getting sold regardless of how good they were.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion on it anyway.
Anything to add, Fathi? Do you think anything different?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's an nonsensical conversation that everyone seems to keep on having. It's like to the level of talk sport, really and truly. Like it's like a talk sport debate, like a bunch of dads discussing something stupid. Oh, look at him, he didn't pass it. What are you on about? There are going to be occasions where you're going to want to go for goal, and ultimately, like for example, today there was a moment in the first half where Salah went for goal and Carroll was like, "Oh, he should have pulled it back for Mane." Why would you put it back to Mane? It's you and the goalkeeper. You're going to go for the shot. As a forward, as someone who likes to score goals, you're going to go for the shot. Pulling it back to Mane was actually more difficult than attempting the shot. So that's why he went for the shot. But the narrative is building, and it's just been continuous for the past couple of seasons that, the moment they don't make one pass to each other, he's been selfish. He's gone for a shot. He should have passed to Salah. He should have passed to Mane, etc., etc. It's just nonsense. It's all nonsense.
But it's easy for Carragher and us as fans who are sitting at home watching it. It's easy for us to say, we should have laid it off there. He should have passed it back. He should have held back because we've got a different perspective from them.
Yeah.
We've got an outside perspective. We can see what's around that player. But if you're a goal scorer and you're in front of your players, unless you hear an audible shout from them, letting you know that they're right near you and they've got a clearer chance than you, then your only contribution right now is to get that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. You don't need to be, stopping the ball because you don't have the time. You've got roughly, I think there was a statistic out that you've got 3 seconds by the time you enter that box to make your decision. You've got 3 seconds. I can't blink in 3 seconds and I make a decision of whether I'm going to shoot for goal or not. And the last thing I'm going to do is stop, if I'm a player, is stop in that box while I've got 4 defenders running at me and a goalkeeper coming straight out at me to go, wait minutes. Oh, there you are. Like, it's not going to happen unless I hear somebody shouting. He's not going to stop, and he shouldn't stop because that's his role. He's a goal scorer. They're meant to be greedy, within limits. But the day I get a goal scorer in my team who doesn't have that greed or that fire to score a goal, I don't want them.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But back to your original point, the question was regarding Mane and his form, right? So I don't know how we've turned it into a. But yeah, what you were asking about Mane? Do I think it's a good like he's going to continue this form? I think so. If you look at the way he performed today, even before the goal, the one issue we've had with Mane this season is the lack of dribbles attempted, for example. He doesn't like to get into the box as much with the ball. He now seems as if he's got that confidence to run with the ball again, and I've seen that in the last few games. And a goal always helps with your confidence. He's now scored 2 in the last couple of games. I can see him pushing on for the rest of the season. He's had a few interviews recently where he's been talking about how this is the worst form of his career and stuff like that. So hopefully he can dust his shoulder off, start again. But the last couple of games has been much better for sure.
I think if he could get some kind of form now for the season, we may just potentially pick less top 4. It's a big ask, but we may. But we'll get on to the top 4 on that. So just reading some of the comments here. Chris says, I'll take that. Not convincing, very scrappy. Luck Southampton didn't finish their roast dinner in the end. We finished our roast dinner. Good win. Good one win and 4 wins to go. FSG out's trying to say we should get Welbeck. I don't think I'm on that jam bandwagon for a striker. Eve says, thank God for that. There was real fear as the match went on. Julian Grit says, would you bring in an Awar or DePaul into the side? Aunt Dicko says, we Reds people have a go at Ginny when we literally have a walk in hospital in Cater. We'll go on to Cater. We have a conversation about Cater. We'll go on to Cater. I don't like him, but Harry Kane, I think that's a reference to being a greedy. Blade Brown, if you've got no cash, then I agree with FSJ. We should go for Welbeck or Andrew Gray. We're not mid-table team. That's why I wouldn't say we go for them. Eve says here it's going to be a forward who's on the cusp of world class, whoever that is. I have no clue. Blade Brown, I think, was talking about Valovic when I was saying about the Italian person. Yeah, that's exactly right. Dave Chat says, just missed it. Marnie in the mirror. Yep. Alan Holloway's for home you should. He says exactly. I thought 3 could have a load of assists and they knew how to finish. That's true. Seamus says Thiago legend. Stephen Somerville says we have been given so many chances to take the advantage. This is one of the last one. We can't afford with less unless Ham needs to drop points. Even it's a narrative that people love to build around the 2. I don't understand why that is. It's our worst when our fans totally out too yet. Joseph Jacob says got a nasty taste enough. Hoping Everton pick up 3 points tomorrow. Joseph Katonga says, well in Sophie, related. Jester says, Thiago Mane, I think, are the only reason they had bad seasons because they both had COVID, but both of you back. Steve says, the only mid-table team that have dropped down massively Arsenal. Okay, so going back to the game, this is where I'm going to drop my hot take. Because...
Hang on, I'm getting ready.
Where I'm not saying, I'm one of the biggest fans of him, and I think he's been a phenomenal servant for us. We'll never forget the Barcelona game.
Oh gosh,
and all the big talking points. But what I'll say is this. Now, I already saw BBC Sports today. So they said in the first half, Gini made 8 passes in the first half. Compared that with Fabinho and Thiago, who both made 20 passes each, and another big Anfield account, I think it's Anfield Effect, said Ginny's been invisible again today, passenger. So I'll say this. I feel that since January, because of the contract situation and Ginny knows he's leaving, he's kind of like on his tools in a way that he knows he's not staying. So he's not put the same effort in as he was. Because when you look at him in the first half of the season, he was phenomenal. Energy, everything. And I feel that this was a hot take. I feel that going on, the more games he's playing, the less he's going to make effort to tackle and effort to put in a shift. So it's a hot take.
Not a hot take, it's a shit take. And you can take it back and shove it up your ass.
So you don't feel okay. So
Stop slandering Genie.
But you don't feel that he's not playing to the level he was before January.
So do you think any of our boys are playing at the level they were?
No, but even still, no, they're not. They're not. But do you not feel?
Let me talk. I don't have access to the shush button, so you will have to deal with the sign. Now shut up. I will let you speak in a minute because we haven't got speak.
Ooh. Oh gosh.
Go ahead. No, it's just for me. Like you said, the shush button, so I shushed it, not for you.
I'm angry now. I forgot what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. Right, but if you've got, like, I don't think any of our boys have performed at the level that they've been known to play at before. Like, we didn't talk about Mane. Is this going to give Mane confidence? We're on a good run of form. We would never have had this conversation 18 months ago. Is Mane going to have a good run of form? Is he going to get his confidence back? Because we would just expect it from him. And I think with Genie, you just, he's never going to be that player that stands out like a world-class superstar player. He's a workhorse. He does everything. And you say he's the invisible man. But what the invisible man does is just because your eyes aren't drawn to him 24/7 doesn't mean he's not doing what he should be doing. And I can't stand this. And me and Andrew were saying it on the live stream. Like, when Genie goes next season, all of yous who fucking slated Genie are going to sit there and go, oh, we really wish we had a player who could just, appear in the box, who was always in the right place at the right time, who had the ball retention, who had the ability to make these recoveries, who really could hold up play. You're going to cry out for this type of player. And I'm going to be sat there going, fucking stand it! I don't understand it. Like, no, he's not playing the way he was in January, and no, he's not playing at the level he was last year either, but none of them are. None of them, not a single one of our boys is playing the level they should be. Not one of them. Honestly, tell me one of our players who has been consistently top tier, as they always have been this entire season, and have not seen a drop in form at any point, because I bet me house you can't tell me one of them.
It wasn't my hot take.
I know, I'm not having a go at you, lovely.
I was saying, it wasn't my hot take, man.
That one over there, you shush button on me. Shut up. That one.
I'll take David Advocate.
That way just like, I like this. Let's just watch her kick off.
What about you, Fathi? Like, how you? Because you said earlier that Jenny should not play for the rest of the games.
No. No. Wait. Let me clarify what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So when you've got a player, this is similar to the Emre Can situation, right? Yeah. So when you've got a player who is 100% leaving the club at the end of the season, now it's not their fault, but you get to a stage where the amount of effort and energy you put into the game isn't the same as it would be if you were committed to that club. It's normal. It's human nature. Like that's all it is. It's not an ability thing. It's not an attitude thing. It is genuinely human nature. When you know when you're in an office and you're leaving your job on the final couple of weeks, do you really put 100% in? No, you don't. No one does. No one ever does. And am I right?
I like it.
That's all it is. That's absolutely all it is.
You've put it really, really eloquently, and you've hit the nail on the head. You, however, can shut up.
But yeah, I also agree with what Sophie said about missing Wijnaldum when he's not there anymore. I've said this previously in the Kop End Fracas podcast, where Wijnaldum is one of those players who is like Marmite to the fan base. He does a lot of good. He does a lot of things that are infuriating, but you will only appreciate Wijnaldum when he is not there anymore. That is the truth. It is the case. He's not a world beater. He's not top 10 in the world midfielders or anything like that. But he is a player that you can use in 3 different positions. He can do any job you want him to do, and ultimately that is going to be missing next season. That is a fact.
I like him.
It's a fact.
Come back. I like him. I like him a lot. He's a nice guy. But I point it out this way: you say he's like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just go back 2 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do.
Yeah.
Every time that song came on, every fan screamed his name in the games. That Genie's song was chanted just as much as Bobby's all the time. So he wasn't like Marmite, love him or hate him. I don't think that. I think everyone needs a scapegoat. And the Liverpool fan base are very, very fickle. And you jump on the first person. We saw a comment earlier on that made me absolutely audible eye roll. Where it's like Thiago is the best midfielder in the world. Like he scored one goal, and all of a sudden you're going away from the whole he's been shit this entire season. So suddenly he's the best thing since sliced bread. Come on, it was a nice goal. It was a very, very good goal. But let's face it, we haven't seen the best of Thiago yet. I do think he's an amazing player. Don't get me wrong. But we're very reactionary. We jump from one hot and cold so quickly. And 2 years ago, he was Flavour of the Month. He was Player of the Month, left, right, and centre. He was absolutely crucial. Everyone loved him. Barcelona game, get him a statue, erect one for Genie, club legend forever. And now we're struggling a bit of form, and suddenly it's all falling on Genie's head. That Genie's the scapegoat. But 2 years ago, Henderson was the scapegoat.
Yeah, no, there always is a scapegoat at Liverpool.
And then Henderson got a bit of form.
Yeah.
And then it was Lovren was the scapegoat. Then Lovren went, and now it's fell to Genie. And you can see now that Genie's leaving, the scapegoat and starting on Mane.
Yeah, it's true. It does move on to someone else every time. It's the truth. It's not a lie.
I don't think it's actually what Genie's doing or isn't doing. I genuinely think it's just a point of fickle fans being fickle. And I just want to let me sign.
I feel like Wahome needs to answer back now. I feel like you need to give a response here.
Yeah,
I could respond for people not arguing. I'm not going to say Ginny hasn't
We're
been
not
good.
allowed to argue anymore.
I'm not going to say Ginny hasn't been good. All I'm saying is the fact that when you say that he'll be keenly missed next season, while he's been a good player for us, I would disagree and say that someone like Basuma, who does exactly Ginny's role, pass the ball, would actually, we wouldn't miss it that much. But I can see why. I think like people need to realise that we've lost players in the past, like Ginny, and found replacements, good players. So it's not the first time, not the last time we've lost a good player and then found someone good. That's good. You know, people thought when Torres left.
The team needs to evolve. No one denies that the team does need to evolve, but I think there also does need to be a bit of respect towards certain players. And I think Sophie's point is that there is a lack of respect towards our players sometimes. Like we saw it with Henderson 2 years ago. It's the truth. There was a lack of respect for his name. And the same is happening to Genie right now. The same is happening to Bobby Firmino. Again, this one's a bit more debatable whether he deserves the slack that he's getting. I personally think he does deserve the slack that he's getting. But yeah, I think Wijnaldum is the fall guy in the situation because everyone knows that he's leaving anyway. So why not just blame the guy that's leaving? Again, just like in an office, when someone is leaving, you put all the blame on them.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. I do, and I don't agree with the slate that Ginny gets.
I just want to add, your take on Basuma is he is not a Genie replacement. Basuma, wait. He fouls everybody. He has got one of the worst fouling rates. We've already got Thiago, and we've got a game going on of what minute is Thiago going to get a yellow card for fouling. Do we really need to add another midfielder who actually does that? One, he's really not that good. He plays great. We've seen this before. Players who shine in a lower level team then come to an upper table team and they absolutely suck. We saw it with Wilfried Zaha, then he went back to Crystal Palace and everyone thought he was great again, and he wasn't. He just was a big fish in a little pond. But Basuma, he likes to shoot really far out and he spoons them. He's not clinical. He's rash. He's too hasty. He's everything that Genie isn't. Genie's if you want to think that Genie's a very slow player. He reads the game and he takes his time with things and he's very good decision making. And then you got Basuma, who's very rash and angry and goes in and gets fouled and gets booked quite often. And I don't want that, and I don't think you'll ever find a replacement for Gini. That's like trying to find a direct replacement for Virgil van Dijk. It's not going to happen. These players are special for a reason, and I think if you're trying to find a like-for-like player, you're always going to be disappointed.
You're not going to.
You're always going to be disappointed.
I also think, to add to that point again, I don't think the team will function the way it currently does anyway. So I think ultimately, again, it's all about evolution, right? So I think the 4-3-3 is going to be done with. I really do feel as if it's going to turn into a 4-2-3-1 with Thiago and Fab, or Hendo and Fab, or Hendo and Thiago sitting with 3 ahead of them, and then a centre forward. I think that's what's going to happen next season, and we have the personnel to do it. And ultimately in midfield, we do need to switch it up a bit, because that engine that we used to have, they're all past that peak age that they were at. So yeah, we need to slowly switch up the way we actually kind of play football, how we maintain possession, how we press. It all needs to change.
100%. So going back to the comments here, so E says golf, so I think obviously Jim says only Salah. Dan Bailey says Ginny is possibly the best press resistant midfielder in Europe, and he plays every single minute.
Don't skip that next comment. I'm up to where you're up to. You read that damn comment out right now. I know where you're up to. Go on.
Dan Bailey, you don't appreciate him because you don't understand the finer details of football.
If you skip right over that, go back to comment.
Good luck replacing him. Sorry if you need to be the boss.
Thank you.
Steven Silver says, Genie, yeah, that's a good one. Julian, we haven't seen the best of Thiago, but he's been far from shit. Come on, haha. Eve, the scapegoat, will be Bobby, already seen it this season, so he's up next. Alan Holly, Basuma fouls too often and his shooting sucks. Well, homie, can you go through a beard like Fathi? I can't do that. I don't get the size. So Fathi.
Let's not beard shame, guys. Come on, let's not beard shame.
I mean,
it's not that kind of show.
I rival the best with mine. Like, what's that?
FSG out says, Sophie, do you prefer guys with beard or no beard? Okay. No. We don't need a direct replacement for Jenny, but someone creative such as Deport or Anawa. So going back to the match, we saw that Southampton had a lot of chances. Realistically, as good as we were, Southampton had a lot of chances. On a different day, maybe they had Danny Ings. They take one of those chances, and Alisson, as he's done quite a few times this season, as a top keeper does, he saved us on a few chances, with some great saving. Obviously, he had that mistake where there was a mix-up between him and Phillips, and it led to a goal, but luckily it didn't turn up to a goal. So, overall, the performance, when you look at it, do you feel that, okay, look, it's one of those games you just need to get a win and move forward? Or do you feel that it still concerns you if you're going to Man United game, we played this way again with the amount of chances Southampton had? We'll start with you, Sophie. Overall assessment of the performance with the chances Southampton had.
Our performance today was exactly as our performances have been of recent. We got a win at the end, which is great, but we just scraped by for it. You can't just say because we won it was a good performance. It really, really wasn't. The first half was good. The first half we were pressing, but I was saying they were letting us press. They were giving us the time on that ball. And towards the end of the game, Southampton had 12 shots and 6 of them were on target. And they weren't even in our box most of the time. So when they were quite clinical in it. If we hadn't had Alisson, that game would have been over. Like that, it would have been done. And I feel like anybody who says that they've got confidence going into the United game, but just off one game where we've won, is a fool. And you need to take your rose-coloured glasses off and you need to just say a spade's a spade. This is a very poor season and this is a very poor Liverpool squad at the minute. We're not playing the way we should be playing. We're not playing the way we know we can play. And especially with United being on really good form as well. they're playing the best football they have for a long time. And I said it on our United with Tom. I was like, I'd never not be scared of United. Even if we were playing football like 18, 19, 19, 20 again, I'd still be scared of this United. No matter whether we're on perfect form or a really poor form, it doesn't matter to me. United is never an easy game, especially at Old Trafford. It's never going to be fun. But I think you'd be a fool if you said straight away like you were feeling confident going into the United game based off that performance. A win, take the win away from it, take the scoreline out of it, and look at the boys. Are you happy with that? Is that acceptable? No. Did it get us through today? Yeah. Will that happen against United? It fails to be seen. We've seen from previous games in history that whenever United tend to come against us, they change their tactics for some reason and play a little bit safer. As do we. It's a derby. It's a very volatile derby. They tend to play a bit on the side of caution. But I'm not looking forward to it. I'm hoping, I can't wait for it to be over. But I wouldn't say I was looking forward. Not looking forward. I wouldn't say I was confident or any more insecure than I would be at any point, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with that. How about you? Do you feel that you thought you were actually worried about the performance overall? And do you feel that actually that's a concern for you going forward? Because Southampton, like Sophie said, if it wasn't for Alisson, that could have been a different game.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. And again, I'm pretty much on the same wavelength for Sophie in the sense of I don't think I could have seen anything in this game that would then make me feel super confident against United, purely because of number one, the moment we play United, we approach the game completely different. They approach the game completely differently as well. Or we've already had a helter-skelter season. One game, for example, you can smash Palace 7-0, whatever it was. But a couple of games later, you're drawing 1-1 with fuck knows who. So I can't even remember who it was. I think it was West Brom at this point.
Fuck knows who. That sums up our season perfectly.
It does. I've honestly got to the point.
I don't remember the word anymore.
Yeah. Today, I was discussing the Everton game at Anfield. I didn't even realise it was 2-0. I kept on thinking it was 1-0 because I only remember the Richarlison goal. I don't remember the second goal because I've tried to blank out this season as much as possible because it's honestly done my head in. But yeah, I don't think I could have seen anything in the Southampton game to make me super confident against United. Even with the fact I know that United are playing on Tuesday night, I'm still not confident. For some reason, I feel as if on Thursday, United will be quicker to the ball. They'll be faster at every single section of the pitch, and it'll be the same thing again. So
it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night for sure. And I don't want to be downhearted and miserable and spoiled or act like a spoiled fan, but I've not seen anything from this season to warrant such confidence.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. I think judging from the performance today and how we played, it's a bit worrying again the fact that teams are getting that many chances. Of course, obviously, it'd be much better if we have Kabak back. I'm not sure if he's going to be fit for that game. Obviously we have to.
Can you just repeat that?
Not sure if Kabak be fit for the game.
No, but before.
Well, I agree with you, both of you.
No, you missing the part where you said, I can't wait. I hope Kabak is back. I can't wait for Kabak back because I'm pretty sure we had a 10-minute argument the other week about how you didn't like Kabak.
But I'd rather have Kabak back than Reece Williams against United because I'd rather have Kabak. So what we've got, I'd rather have Kabak playing. But obviously, I hope he is fit because if we're not, and we're Reece Williams against United, I'm major concerned because Cavani or Rashford are going to destroy him. We saw him in the FA Cup game. So, obviously, ideally, you want him back, and you want us to up our level because the United game is going to be the way United, as you said, it's scary. So, but we can only hope that. So what?
I was just saying, I don't think it matters whether. I mean, I'd rather Kabak be back. Obviously, I agree with you there, but I think even with Kabak back, Kabak and Nat Phillips are still going to get absolutely by Cavani. I'm dreading it. I am.
I honestly cannot be bothered.
Can you just?
They're gonna play, it's going to be Greenwood, Rashford, and Cavani, and they're just going to run at us every single time. I know what's going to happen.
You can just see the memes, can't you, already?
Yeah, and they're going to throw the game against Leicester on Tuesday night. You already know that as well. So it's just sickening.
I just want it to be over. I just don't want to do it. Don't want to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Zama says Reece Williams tried his best. We should not put Origi in a situation when we should put. I think it means that we should make Origi leave this summer. Same with Phillips. Okay. Everyone else, just make sure you smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. So going back to the game.
That's a common sentence from my homie. Going back to the game. Just keep going off on one.
Going back to the game. So we saw, obviously, the second half, Southampton had quite a few chances. And we finally got our goal with Thiago, I think around the 90th minute or around that time. And allowed us to see the game off and feel a bit more confident. I'm going to go to the full. How did you feel overall the forwards did? Mane scored. How do you feel overall the forwards did? Because, yes, Salah got the assist, but, some people I saw said that he missed a few chances today, which he should have kind of buried. Jota didn't play that well. Maybe Bobby should have started today. How did you feel overall about the strikers? Compared to how they were against Newcastle, where they came for a lot of criticism for missing chances and not being good that day. Did you feel there was a better performance overall from them today that made you feel a bit confident for the rest of the season?
No. Just
the same as they've always played. They just got lucky. No, it's not a hot take. It's fact. No. I love how you both went. No,
literally no. There's nothing that I've seen to kind of. The midfield was bang average as well. The forward line was bang average. What do you say? I just think they're low in confidence, and also with Jota going back up front, I think the way he moves around in spaces, Salah and Mane really need to get used to it. Obviously, they've been off for 2 weeks, so they've not exactly been fit and firing or having professional games or anything like that. So clearly, you can see the rustiness there. But yeah, there's nothing that I saw from the forward line to be like, yeah, they did well, because no, they didn't. But it's been the same all season, apart from Wolves and Crystal Palace, and there was another game, Arsenal as well. They were good. Yeah, what more do I say? Sophie, please take over. It's sick. Honestly, they make me sick. They genuinely make me sick. I can't deal with it anymore.
Fathi, can you come back? Because No, they were bang average. No, they were bang average. No. There's literally not an ounce to sum it up. You've just hit the nail on the head there. There's nothing I can actually add to that wouldn't just be rephrasing what you said with more swear words.
Yeah, literally. I mean, Mane was a bit more impressive, more compared to usual. But again, the bar is so low. What does that mean? Yeah,
it's like I'm trying to bring it back to the Genie point earlier that Wahemi made. Where it's has he been playing the same level of football since January? Well, none of them fucking have.
Yeah.
And looking at our front three today, they did the same thing they've been doing for months. They just managed to finally get lucky, and it wasn't even a front three member who got us the win in the end.
Yeah.
It was our midfielder. So no.
Yeah, it's sad the fact that I thought Salah would have been. I know he created a chance, but I thought he'd have been on it with a golden boot. But I think with Jota as well, since that Madrid first leg, he's not been the same since then. It's gone off the boil for us. So, but probably obviously maybe it was sustainable for him to score as many goals as he was doing, because he wasn't producing that level at Wolves. So, but hopefully that something comes up. Maybe someone picks up the United game, and we get a different performance in them. But
right, which one of you is selling your soul for this win? I sold mine a long time ago for that Champions League. So
yeah, I don't even think selling your soul is worth it because I don't think it guarantees top 4 anyway. So even if we do somehow shithouse a win against United, we'll drop points against Burnley. It's expected. So I'm not optimistic about any of this, to be honest. I don't see how we win 5 games. I don't see how 4 games now. I don't see how Leicester drop 6 points out of 9. It's just it's pathetic because really and truly, if we would have just kept our clean sheet against Leeds and Newcastle, we would be in such a good position. I just don't understand how it's got to this.
Well, going on that, about the top 4 race, obviously Leicester's final few games are United, Chelsea, Spurs. We're 6 points off them, like with a game in hand. Are you saying that you think top 4's totally gone, Fathi?
No, it's not totally gone. No, there is a chance, and I've seen teams make it from a similar position, but you're relying on a lot of teams above you to drop points. If it's a couple of teams, it's a different story. When you're looking at 3 teams above you to drop points, it's a bit too much. Leicester have United, Spurs, and Chelsea in the final 3 games, I think.
Yeah, United, Chelsea, and Spurs in the final few games.
There you go. So with United are going to throw that game 100%. They're going to play their worst team. They'll play their worst team. Leicester will win about 4-0. So that's 3 points there. Chelsea, all right, cool. They may not win that game, but Spurs, they will beat Spurs. So a win or a draw should be enough. So I don't really see how it happens. And I don't think we have it in us to win 4 games in a row because we've not done that all season. So why are we going to do it now?
Yeah. Sophie?
Why start now? Why play football now? Why turn up? Just go home. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Have a nap, lads. You deserve it. Cheers.
Alan Holloway says nearly like that time.
No, it's not. I fixed the lights. You don't go off now to about half.
I agree with you there. I think it's going to be a tough ask for us to get top 4. I'm not confident us beating United at all. So I feel the games. I agree. I could see us if we beat United. I agree with Fathi. I could see us then dropping points to West Brom. And
God, we'll play Big Sam as well. Oh, for God's sake.
I'm not confident in that. So he loves to spoil the party, Big Sam, with a
even though he's been relegated. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Now it's just because he's been relegated. Now you know it's going to be a case of fuck it.
Yeah.
He's that office worker who's got like 2 weeks left before he leaves, working and doesn't give a shit anymore. Did you file that? No. Did you send that email? No. He comes in late. He's just gonna go. Okay, I'm leaving. Like,
yeah, fair. I'm loving the office analogies today.
You started.
On a different note, that was Klopp's last win at Anfield today. Like, that's a.
Oh my God, we won at Anfield.
Yeah, and it's 100 win at Anfield. Apparently, beating. So yeah, he's done really well to get 100 wins at Anfield, especially when you think about injuries he's had, the lack of probably overall funding he's got from FSG at times, and all the adversity of COVID and stuff. So I think 100 wins. I don't know obviously how quick that is in over record for managers, but it must be better than like a Rodgers or someone. So just wanted to highlight that. Okay, so moving on to our man of the match. Who was your man of the match, Fahi?
I'll give it to Sadio. Again, the bar is super low from what I saw today, but yeah, if you're looking at stats,
just step over the bar.
Yeah, if you're looking at stats overall, I think Sadio did quite well. He attempted quite a lot of take-ons. He obviously scored an important goal, and he seemed like his self, really and truly. He was winning more duels in the air and on the ground as well. So yeah, let's give it Sadio. Second choice, if I had to make a second choice, that's when you start really nitpicking, right? I guess we can say Alisson for making a couple of saves, even though some of those saves were his own fault as well. So for that reason, yeah, let's go with Sadio.
Zama says here he's got Nat Phillips as man of the match.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Eve says Alisson for me. What about you, Sophie?
Alisson. Alisson, like I said, even if Mane had scored his goal, if Alisson hadn't done what he did with that double save, we'd have been out the game by half time. We'd have never clawed it back. Never clawed it back. I think without Alisson, yeah, we'd have been done. Like, I'd have turned the game off at like 26 minutes and just got the TV remote and not looked at it again. He kept us in that game, and yet I know he had that bad pass where he passed it right back out to Che Adams, but he was put under pressure to begin with. He was given it. He was short passed back, and he had to get it out because he had the players running at him. He had Che Adams running at him, and it just so happened that he intercepted the ball on a dodgy pass. But Alisson was really calm and composed, and he knew that he had very inexperienced players in front of him. He had Williams in front of him. Obviously he's tiny. He doesn't know what he's doing, does he? He got spun round. He's just got no pace on him, has he? That kid. He's got lanky legs, but he's just
don't get it. How can someone so young be so slow?
Do you know what I don't get? How can someone so feckin' tall, who's like 96% leg, he takes 3 steps and it would. He takes 1 step and it would take like 5 and like 7 of mine. And I'm not short, and it took like 7 of mine to go. He's the slowest person. It's like watching Bambi on ice in slow motion.
I honestly think he's still growing into his body, because really and truly, the way he moves doesn't make sense for a 19-year-old. It just doesn't.
Like, how can he be so? I've seen 80-year-olds move quicker than him for a free bar. But Alisson for me. Alisson, I know he made a few mistakes, but like Fathi said, the bar's on the second floor. The bar is so low for this game and the season in general. Alisson, yeah. What about you?
Based on what I saw on stats, I'll just go for Thiago because he got a goal and apparently he had good stats in midfield today. Here's a good one. Jordan says, "Who's your worst player of the match?" Start with you, so. Who's your worst player?
The bar is very low for that one. I'd have to go between Jota or Reece Williams.
Fahi, who's your worst player?
I'm going to go with Robertson. I just don't think he's himself anymore. I don't think he played well today. It didn't even feel as if he was on the pitch, really and truly. I don't really see him joining in with attacks either, but then again, maybe that was to nullify Walcott running down his flank. But I don't think he was great. Well, he wasn't his usual self.
Made a good couple of... He was good defensively. But, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, he wasn't himself. Like, he wasn't the Robert, But you could pick all of them, couldn't you? Let's be honest.
You know what it is? See, it's an interesting question I'm going to ask you guys. Do you guys feel as if there's something... Now, I'm not saying tension or anything like that, but don't you feel as if the relationship between Robertson and Mane has completely evaporated this season?
Yeah.
What's happened there? No one seems to be discussing this at all. It's really weird. I just don't get what's happened.
I agree with that. I do feel there's a correlation. Like, if Mane has a bad game, no one has a bad game. If Robert has a bad game, Mane has a bad game because there's no... That link-up play was so deadly between them two, the overlapping. I think that's evaporated. I think Mane performance has gone down. That means it's made it harder for Robert to do the overlaps. And also when Mane's performance is down, his energy work rate and stuff getting back hasn't helped him. I think Robert's had to do more in terms of getting forward to try and provide that attacking outlet when Mane's played poor. And obviously, also I think with Robbo, the fact that he's not had a rest in ages. So no, Tsimikas has been trusted. When he has been fit, he's not been played. Like, maybe it could have been a day you put Tsimikas in there, but I don't think Klopp really trusts Tsimikas. So I think it's a combination of tiredness and then just both of them being off form at certain points, and then it's made it hard for them. But yeah, you're right. It has completely evaporated, and it's something maybe look at.
You know what I think? I agree with both of you that it's a combination of tiredness and all that shit. I think it's missing Virgil.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because Virgil plays next to Robertson. Robbo always used to push up higher.
Yep.
A lot higher, which allowed them to make that connection, because at the minute you've got Robertson sitting right at the back and Mane right at the front, and they've got to run the length of the pitch to match up with each other. Whereas when Virgil was in there, Virgil would just move over and would cover that space between them, and it was never a problem because Virgil would cover that back line on his own. We saw it on against.
We've seen him do it enough times.
We've seen him do it countless times. Like, it's no problem for him. So Robbo's got more confidence going forward to make those connections with Mane, and Mane's then got more confidence coming back a little bit more because he knows he doesn't have to run as far back to the corner flag, and that's where their link-ups always were from midfield onwards, the midway point, because Virgil was there. Virgil's not there, and I genuinely think I love Virgil. Like, Wahomey knows I think the sun shines out his backside. I absolutely adore him. But I feel like Virgil offers more to us just than just our defence. He's the captain. He's the voice. He's such a personality in the dressing room as well. Like, it's going to be missed. He's going to make a void. But I think people have underestimated how much Robertson relies on him as well, and how much that link up is. And I think that affects Trent negatively as well, because Robertson can't push up the pitch. So if Trent can't push up the pitch, because then obviously Gomez would slot in. Like, our centre-back pairing don't just sit in the centre-back role, they move outwards. And obviously sometimes I have a back line of two, with Fabinho sitting just in front of them, and our full-backs are allowed to run off the pitch and make those runs and those connections. And I think that's where our clinical nature in the final third hasn't come into play, because our boys have had to run so far up and down that pitch because they don't trust the centre-backs behind them. They're not experienced enough to do what ours.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
I think Robertson's quality in himself hasn't dropped. I think it's just he's adapting to a completely different system in a different role. Everybody's adapting to a different system this year, and I think it does centre around Virgil for me. Like, he's the sun, and we just revolve around Virgil.
Yep.
I can't wait for him to come back. Every time he posts on Instagram, I'm like,
I might cry. I genuinely might cry.
I'm going to cry.
Yeah, I probably will cry, to be honest.
I'm going to sit right there on my floor and just stare at the TV and sob. Just sob. I just can't wait. I remember once I had a conversation with my dad, and me and my dad was talking. We talked about Virgil the day Virgil comes back, and I was like, "Oh, I hope he comes on and 2-foot somebody." And my dad was like, "I hope he comes on and scores a thunderbolt and like smooths back his hair, to make it perfect." We went in this like full-on conversation, like 20-minute conversation of all the things we can't wait for Virgil to do, from the sublime to the obscene. I was like, that's how much he means to these, like, to all of us fans.
Yeah.
This was like 6 months ago.
When he got
injured.
Going to the chat here. Simon says Thiago seems to play better when we were ahead. For some reason, he picks it up and takes risks. Alan Ho says after Virgil, Alisson is my man crush.
We can back off Virgil, he's mine.
Eve minus one what happened. Robert looks just tired. Plays every minute and it's caught up. Good point, Soph. Eve says about your point on Verdike. And then Jordan Santos says, I took a break from the season. I went back home to Dominican Republic for a month.
Oh,
yeah,
lucky you.
Okay.
Lucky you, mate.
I can feel you there.
I went to Iceland. The shop. That's the extent.
But moving on, I think that's a good time to transition to our trigger time.
Yeah.
So, Fathi, what we normally do at the end of the show is we do like trigger time. So we ask them scenario questions.
Okay.
So if anyone's got any good trivia questions, do drop it in the chat and we'll answer those questions. First one for you guys. You offered 1 million to dance for 2 minutes with no music in front of a full stadium of people. Would you do it? And what type of dance would you do?
Oh, hell yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah, that seems easy.
I danced to no music in my house just for the fun of it. Like,
but a stadium full of people.
Don't care. When I bought my house, there were builders outside because the other houses weren't built yet, and they caught me having a dance party with no music on. I hadn't even had blinds installed, and I'm sat there being like, na, 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 and then turn around, and there's these 3 builders going.
What is she doing?
I was like, ah.
What dance did you do?
Like, don't care. If you're offering me, I'd do it for free.
What dance did you do? What dance, it said? What kind of dance?
Freestyle. I'd have whipped out the moves. Yeah, I'd have whipped out, the salmon. Like, you know, I just worked out all the like cheesy moves. If I'm getting $1 million for it, I'm going to make it worthwhile. Like, go viral for it.
Fathi?
I'll do the robot, mate. I'll do the robot across the pitch. Tweet about it. Easy money. Do that any time of the week. I'll do it for a tenner, let alone $1 million. Just give me a bit of give me a chicken and chips meal. I'll do it. It's fine.
Give me a Mackies and I'd be like,
I'm down.
I love it.
I would do the side dance, even though I can't do it. I'd like to try to do like some kind of variation of it. Next one for you guys. If you could body swap with any celebrity for 24 hours, who would you choose?
What?
If you could body swap with any celebrity for 24 hours, who would you choose?
Body swap.
Candy Swampole. Victoria's Secret model. I'd like to know what it felt like because I watched them walk down the runway looking like an angel and I look like a Victoria sponge cake. But yeah, I'd like to, yeah. Easy.
Fathi?
All right, this is a PG show, so I'm going to keep it PG, but this could go.
I'm on it.
All I'm saying is I could have taken this completely to another level. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to go with the safe answer.
Go in the private chat. Please tell me who this is.
I'm just going to go with Virgil. I think I'd like to see how it is being Virgil van Dijk for a day. I'd like to see how people react to him because Lord knows if I saw him every single day, I'd praise him. I'd literally just follow him around. So yeah, I'd be Virgil.
I've got a really good. I want to change my answer. Virgil van Dijk's wife.
Smart.
We'll just leave it there. 24 Smart. Hours. That's all I need.
I think for me, my one was going to be Denzel because I wanted to play Training Day.
Okay.
I just wanted to do that speech. Yeah. King Kong. So he's got one here. If you were forced to listen to one artist, I think music artist for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Oh, that's easy. Kanye. Every day. That's me sorted. That's all I need. Sorted.
Okay, I'll come back to me. Go to home. We come back. I've got to think.
For me, if I was listening to one artist just because it always makes me happy, I'd probably pick Bob Marley because I think I can listen to his songs all day and feel happy.
One artist again for the rest of my life. Ugh.
While you're waiting, Jonathan says Drake. Steven Summers says Springsteen for men. Jonathan to the Spice Girls.
I don't know. See, this is where having such a vast enjoyment in music comes in really negatively because I'm going, well, do I want to listen to a rock band for the rest of my life? Do I want to listen to like a pop band? Do I want to listen to a single singer? Do I want to listen to country music? Do I want to listen to art? Like,
Pick one, safe.
I can't. Oh my god, why is this so difficult? Right, okay, I'm gonna shuffle randomly on Spotify and whatever comes up first will be what I'm listening to for the rest of my life. Country. We're going for country.
There we go.
That's shit. I don't want to listen to it for the rest of my life. Okay, so we're going for country. I'll listen to Carrie Underwood. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Sophie doesn't like Chris Brown. Sophie can't stand Chris Brown.
I can tell in the last one. If you had to pick a cartoon villain to be for a day, who would you pick?
Cartoon villain. Roadrunner.
The Coyote.
Yeah.
The Coyote.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just do it right. He makes stupid mistakes. I'd know exactly how to catch that fucking thing.
I'd be the Joker from the Batman cartoons. So let's go with the Joker. There you go. I'd like to see how it is to be as sadistic as he is.
I would be Scar from Lion King.
Why would you want to be him?
I loved how devilish he was in, the whole plot. So it was my favorite cartoon as a kid. So it was that, or I don't know if you ever watched Thundercats.
Yeah.
Mumra.
Yeah.
Is that event too? All right. I think that. Has anyone else got a trivia question, or we wrap up?
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
Not that good.
Okay. Well, yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, we're gonna wrap up there. So everyone in the chat, you've been great as always. Do make sure you smash the like button and subscribe, and tell your friends to also subscribe. Do also check out the Kop End Fracas and go check out Fathi's podcast. They've got a great podcast there, so give them.
Thank you,
and give them a follow. Otherwise, Sophie, it's been a pleasure.
Always.
It's been great having you on. We'll have you on again sometime soon.
Thank you for having me on.
And let's
hope to do more collaborations with the Kop End Fracas.
For sure.
Otherwise, everyone else, have a great evening. The Reds won today, so enjoy it, celebrate it. It's been a long time since we had a win, so enjoy it. Otherwise, up Reds, and we'll see you guys all soon. Really soon on probably Wednesday or Thursday for our Man United.
Thursday, right? United.
Yeah, it's the Man United game, and we'll probably do our post-match Tuesday or Wednesday for that. So check that out. Otherwise, have a great evening and up the Reds.
Bye, guys.